It kind of gives maybe a little bit more like 90s news anchor. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sunshine. This is Everyday Sunshine. Today we're doing a very simple holiday look featuring the new Chanel Ultra Le Teint Velvet Foundation and a couple of other products from the brand. I picked up one of the reformulated blushes in the shade Rose Bronze and wanted to see how it worked, how it performed. What are my thoughts on this new reformulation? I also have the concealer. I'm very surprised by my thoughts on this concealer and the gloss. I picked up a really nice kind of holiday shade. I wanted to do something simple, kind of keeping in line with the French theme, hence my little faux French bob here. I did cut bangs and I'm getting used to them, but I really like them. I kind of curled my hair all very under to give it like a bob look, and I'm kind of digging it. It's a little too long to give French bob. It kind of gives maybe a little bit more like 90s news anchor. It's really making me consider cutting my hair. Little French bob. I might do that. I just wanted to do a quick, super easy holiday look, something that you could really wear anytime, but the red lip to me is always going to scream holiday. I've said this before in many videos, I will wear a red lip year round. It does not need to be a holiday for me to wear a red lip. If you would like to see how we got here, you don't have to do anything. I mean, all you have to do is just literally not do anything, and you will see. I am not going to use a primer today because I just don't feel like this foundation needs it. This is the Ultra Le Teint Velvet Foundation. This is the reformulated version. I have the shade BD21. I have worn this several times. This is not my first time applying this foundation. I just find that I don't need a primer with this one. I do have my skincare on. I have my sunscreen on. I put all that on probably a couple hours ago. I am just going to apply this with my beauty blender. And I do find that this kind of sets quickly, not like, immediately upon contact with your skin, but I wouldn't let it sit for long before blending it out. Okay, so that is the foundation blended out on the skin. The finish is beautiful. It's a very smoothing, perfecting finish. I find that it does kind of settle into my lines around my mouth, like the corners of my mouth, almost immediately upon applying it, but it doesn't seem to get worse throughout the day. It's been years since I've tried the Chanel concealer, and they have reformulated it since I tried it. I mean, it's been years that they reformulated it, but I have not tried the reformulated version. I think it was reformulated in 2021. I haven't tried this new version. I mean, I have since I purchased this, but it's kind of a newish concealer for me. In the concealer, I have the shade BD11. I'm going to go in with the concealer just right under my eyes. I'm not going to do anything on the face because this foundation, it's plenty of coverage for me. So just going to take a couple of dots under the eyes. And I am going to blend this out with my finger. I like to take my concealer on my eyelid too to cover up any discoloration. Okay, concealer is blended out. I am so super impressed by this concealer. I remember trying the Chanel concealer years ago, being very disappointed in the performance. It seemed to crease right away. It settled in fine lines almost immediately, made my under eyes look way worse than they actually were in reality. Just did not get on with that concealer at all. I love the shade. I love that they have a BD11 in this because it is just like a perfect amount of brightening without being too much and without being too pinky orange on me. So here is the concealer next to the foundation. You can see that the concealer is brighter. Here's the thing with this concealer. You can see it on the skin. If I look at it super up close in my 10 times magnification mirror, I can see it on the skin. It's very rare to find a concealer that you don't see on the skin. Very, very zoomed in can look a little dry, and it almost feels a little dry when you put it on. It feels very thin and almost like a dry-ish formula. It's not super emollient, super creamy, super tacky. It's a drier concealer and it sets down. Something about it works. I mean, all of that I just said sounds like a major negative. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to stay far away from that. But here is where it gets weird. It does not crease. So when you put it on, if you're ultra close, you can see it on the skin, right? It looks just and I'm talking 10 times magnification, it looks the slightest bit dry, but it does not change from that. It doesn't get worse. It does not crease. Like I can wear this concealer from morning till night. No creases, no creases. I'm 51 years old, no creases. It wears spectacularly well. I am so impressed with it. And I mean, when I first got it and put it on, I was like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. What is this? You know, because like I said, you can see it. I mean, you can see most things on the skin, but this almost at very, very close range almost looks dry, but it doesn't get drier. I hope that I'm explaining that in a way that makes sense. I'm very, very impressed by this concealer. It is quickly climbing to the top of my favorites list, despite it sounding like something that would be absolutely horrible for mature skin. It's not, because it stays and it offers enough coverage and it does not crease and it does not get worse throughout the day. It stays looking like it looks when you put it on. I don't know what kind of magic is in this stuff, but I really, really like it. I'm going to do my brows real quick. I'm going to go in with the Kulfi Brow Gel and just set them into place. I think I'm running low on this. I've pretty much used it every single day since I got it. I love this stuff. It holds your brows. It does not flake. Now, I know that this looks crazy. They will fall. I just plaster them to my head, and then by the time I'm done filling them in, they've fallen into a natural shape. I'm just going to fill in the sparse areas. Then I like to extend the tail like so, like that. Wait, who was that? Tabitha? Do you guys remember Tabitha? Is she still on TikTok? Tabitha Brown. She would make amazing vegan TikToks. Her food always looks so good. And she would like put her spices or whatever in. She'd say like so, like that. I loved her. I don't know. She's still around. I had to get off the TikTok. I was seeing so many things that were upsetting and you can't prepare for them, right? And I would get really, really sucked into them because, you know, empathy. And then I would have to do more research and find out the story. I was stumbling across child abuse cases and, you know, all of the horrors around you pick one. There are so many things that are happening in the world. And I would become so wrapped up in them and so consumed by them that it was almost unhealthy. It was hurting me. So I had to take a step back, not because I don't care, but because I do. So I don't know if Tabitha Brown is still doing TikToks, but she was like a happy TikTok. I miss the days when she would show up on my feed. So I'm going to do very, very light contouring. I'm going to contour my eyes a bit because I don't think I'm going to do eyeshadow. This Victoria Beckham contour stick is really good, but oh my gosh, like the amount that you get, it's like an eyeshadow stick, but it's priced like a contour stick. Now, I love Victoria Beckham Beauty. The price on this stick is just it's bananas. It's bananas. I had to get it because I had to see if it was any good. Is the price justified by the amazing formula? This is not a Victoria video, but you know, we're going to talk about it briefly. It'll be brief. It is a really, really nice formula. However, the amount of product is like, it reminds me of the concealer pen, right? Where it's an amazing product, but you get such a teeny tiny amount. So this I would only use for something like this situation, right? Where I'm just barely barely doing a contour. I'm going to set my face with my Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Setting Powder in Neutral Light. This stuff is just, it's so good. It's really good for mature skin. It's not cakey or drying on my skin at all. And it's winter. It's almost January. It's still treating me right. Very happy with this. I'm glad I took the chance on this powder and picked it up during the Sephora sale. I am loving it. I'm going to go in with the Kosas Cloud Setting Candy and set under my eyes very, very lightly. I like to use this little pointy Sephora powder puff. I probably just got too much. I'm going to tap some of that off on my hand. This Chanel concealer, it just doesn't move. It almost smooths out the under eyes. Chanel reformulated these blushes. This is just the powder brush. This is just the powder blush. I got the shade Rose Bronze because I just wanted something neutral that would go with everything. I have always felt like Rose Bronze is a beautiful shade. In time since I've tried a Chanel blush. I honestly don't remember what I thought of the old version of Chanel blushes. I'm pretty sure I liked them. I think they were really good as far as I remember. Let me just show you the color up close. I've used this several times and I really like it. The color is just beautiful. It's such an easy to wear shade. I like to put my blush on my nose. I'm going to put a little bit on my eyelid because I'm not sure if I'm going to do eyeshadow today. I don't think I am. So Rose Bronze has a little bit of a shift, a little bit of, maybe not a shift, but a little bit of sheen to it. Kind of a gold reflect. It's really pretty. I don't think that this particular shade would work for all skin tones, but they have so many other colors. The new shade that they have, Brun Rouge, looks absolutely beautiful. And that looks like it would work on a variety of skin tones. I'm going to do my lips next and then the eyes last. I want to put the lip on because we are going for a red lip today and I want to adjust the eyes to that. So for lip liner, I'm using my Victoria Beckham lip liner. This is the shade 4. I love this color. A little bit warmer than the 30 other lip liners that I have that are all the same color. Not really 30, but most of them are all pretty much the same color. This one is slightly warmer. I think it's going to go great with the lipstick. We're doing a very simple holiday look, and I think that a very simple holiday look is just a red lip. A red lip just pretty much is holiday, right? It's enough. And it is a time of year that you can do a red lip every single day. I can do a red lip every single day. Lisa Eldridge Velvet Ribbon is a classic. I'm just going to soften up the edges, kind of blend them in. I like to really blur out the edges of a red lip. It just makes it look a little less severe on me, but still keeps the punch. On top of that red lip, I'm going to put on a gloss, and I love this gloss. This is the Rouge Coco gloss in the shade 738. It's so pretty. It's almost like a very vibrant coral, like a reddish coral, kind of like the shade of the color of my shirt, honestly. I love that gloss. I love Velvet Ribbon. I really think you could just stop there. I'm going to go in with the highlight shade from my Hourglass Dragon palette in my inner corners, just for a little bit of brightness in there. I am going to tightline with the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal in black. Sorry about this. Look away. I'm going to try to put just a tiny, tiny bit on my lower lash line and smudge it out. Kind of smudge it into my lashes to make it just look like a thicker lash line. That's my goal. We'll see. Something like that. I didn't add any eyeliner to my top. Smoked out what was left on my tiny little smudger brush. Went along the lash line to just offer definition without looking like eyeliner. I think I'm going to leave the eyes there and just let the focus be on the lips. One thing that I do want to mention is that some of these products I had to order from the Chanel website. I had to order the blush online and I had to order the foundation online because they didn't have the reformulated versions locally. I wanted to try the new versions. I just wanted to touch on the experience of ordering from the website versus like Ulta or Nordstrom, which is where I would usually order Chanel. The experience of ordering from Ulta versus the experience of ordering from Chanel are like night and day. Got this bag behind me, not because it's for decoration. I just wanted to show it. My order from the website came in a beautiful Chanel box, and then it had this beautiful bag inside it that like ties with a little ribbon. Everything was packaged inside. You also get samples. We picked a sample of the Le Lift serum, I think, and I've been trying that. I don't know, it's way too fragranced for me. But I also picked a sample of the Noir Allure mascara. I had never tried this mascara. I had used their Chanel Volume de Chanel, or what, the volumizing mascara. I have used that before. I was not a fan of that one. It flaked and smudged on me, so it was, regardless of how beautiful it made my lashes look, it was all over my face by the end of the day. But I wanted to try this and, you know, see if this experience was any different. Just the tiny little sample. I do really like the brush though. It's got the tiny little bristles, and I just feel like these brushes with the tiny little bristles really do a good job of getting in there and lifting your lashes. So we'll see. I just got it on my finger because the brush is so tiny. But I want to go for a really simple eye look. However, my lashes are horrible, so I like a very dramatic mascara even for every day, just so you can see that I have eyelashes. I'm very impressed with that mascara. It does a great job at lifting and curling my lashes, and I feel like the brush got every single lash. I'm sure you can see the difference there. Now you can see lashes. That mascara is really good. If it stays all day and does not flake or smudge, I might actually pick that up. I could not help myself. I had to do a little wing. I used my Lisa Eldridge Kitten Flick and just kind of went on the outer corner and did just a small little wing. So let's talk about these products. So Chanel Ultra Le Temps Velvet Foundation. This is a foundation that I had tried years ago before it was reformulated, and I really did not like it. I cannot remember what it was about it. I can't put my finger on what it was I didn't love about it back then. It might have been too matte, too drying, but when I heard it was reformulated, I wanted to give it a try. And it looks like they moved alcohol a little further down the list. I believe before it was reformulated, it was like third on the list, just very high in alcohol. I do not like to put alcohol on my face. I'm a mature skin person. Like the last thing I want to do is put something that is dehydrating on my skin. But this was far enough down the list that I thought I would give it a shot and figured it was just there to help with dry down. And I do think that that's the case. It does dry down pretty quickly, probably because of the alcohol. You do have enough time to blend it out. Once it sets down, it is there. It is set. It is not going anywhere. It is winter, so things are performing differently on my skin in the winter than in the summer. Curious to see how this will work in the summer. Is it going to be as long wearing in the summer as it is now? I have been very, very impressed with it so far. I think it sits beautifully on the skin. It wears really well. It makes my pores look less noticeable. It does not enhance fine lines or texture or anything like that. It's a good foundation. I can't say that it is my absolute favorite, and I couldn't even tell you why. I can't think of a negative thing to say about it. I want to give you all of the information. The only thing that I can think of that could be a negative is how quickly it settles in the lines around my mouth. It's like immediate, and then it doesn't get progressively worse, right? Like that's as bad as it's going to get. That's it at its worst, and it doesn't get any worse. It stays looking like this. Another negative. How could I forget? The scent. The scent. Why? I thought when they reformulated it that maybe they would have removed the scent. I don't understand the scent. So the scent and the settling and the fine lines around my mouth. The wear is great. The finish is great. The application is great. Very easy to work with. The shade range has improved. I wish that it didn't have a scent, but other than that, this is a winner in my book. The concealer. I'm super surprised by the concealer. I really just bought this. It was curiosity. I had not heard anybody talk about it. I hadn't seen really anything good or bad about the Chanel concealer in a long time. I remember the old formula. I don't think I ever saw anything really good or bad about that either. I just know that my own personal experience with it was not great. However, this is really, really, really good. If I look in my 10 times magnification mirror, you can see that there is concealer under my eyes. It's not thick by any means. It's very thin. It doesn't make your eyes feel dry, but the concealer itself like sets down to a dry finish where it's not tacky, it's not sticky, it's not really emollient, and it doesn't move. And so you want to blend it out, and then it just does not crease. It just stays looking like that all day. I'd say my skin is normal. It's not overly dry and it's not oily. It's pretty balanced because I do a lot to care for my skin. I really like the concealer. Have you tried it? What are your thoughts? As a 51-year-old person with fine lines under my eyes, I find that this looks beautiful under the eyes. Yes, you can see it if you look really up close, but it does not look bad. You can just see that it's there. Like I said, the first time that I put it on, as I was putting it on, I was like, oh gosh, this is a big no. Like it's looking dry because it's not very like emollient and creamy. But I just went ahead and blended it out and was like, we're wearing it so that I can come to camera and say how it wears and what my impression of it is, to like warn other people to stay away if it's this horrible, awful concealer. But I was shocked because it wasn't horrible, awful. It stays looking smooth all day. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what it is. It's a very confusing concealer, but I am absolutely so happy that I bought it, and I will continue to wear this. I have been wearing it so often since I got it because of how great it looks under the eye. It's a winner. The Chanel glosses are really, really nice lip glosses. I love the doe foot on these. I don't know if I showed it. I think I showed the swatch. It's like kind of a chunky doe foot. It gets a decent amount of product, but not too much where it's gloppy all over your lips. The color to me is something very unique and interesting, like this kind of vibrant reddy coral. It's beautiful. It's very moisturizing. It wears well. I have no complaints. I'm very happy with the lip gloss. The mascara sample. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad that I got this. The experience of ordering from the website and getting to try other things in the range is such a nice touch. You don't get any points from ordering from the website like you do at Ulta or Nordstrom or, wherever else that you may be able to collect points. But you do get a very nice kind of a luxury experience with the packaging and the little samples. And this is a really good mascara. I'm very impressed by it. Now, I have to see how it wears. I have been saving it for this video because I don't think that there's more than maybe 2 or 3 uses in here. I'll have to see how it wears. If it does not flake or smudge on my eyes, I will probably order a full size in that. That's how impressed I am with that. And that is from First Use. You know that when you try a mascara, usually the first time using it is not the best. It's very rare for a mascara on first use to be extraordinary. My eyelashes are still up and at them, and they look thicker, they look longer, they look curled. So those are my thoughts on the reformulated version of the Chanel Ultra Le Teint Velvet Foundation. I really, really like this. I think it's a great foundation. It's matte, but it's not dry. If you like a matte finish, if you like a perfected look to your skin, it's not full coverage. I would say it's medium coverage. You can build it up, though. I think it starts out at a light medium coverage. I think you could build it to a medium to full coverage easily. It is such a thin consistency that it doesn't look cakey when you build it up. If that sounds like something that you are looking for in a foundation, I do think that this is a good one for mature skin. I think it's very rare to find a matte foundation that doesn't look horrible on more mature skin. This one looks great. It doesn't make me look any older or worse. And wow, that's a win in my book. If you can look past the smell, and if they have a shade that works for you, and if you don't mind slight settling in fine lines, you would be able to see it like at a normal speaking distance. You have to be looking for it. But since I'm trying to give you my review of this foundation, I'm looking for the flaws. I'm trying to find the flaws so that I can bring them to you. Those are the only two that I have really, is the scent. If you're bothered by scents, skip it, and the settling. Lastly, the blush. Again, have the shade Rose Bronze. Let me see if I can get a swatch of it. Swatching blushes is not easy because you don't want a blush that swatches really well, or at least I don't. I don't want a blush that swatches really well. I want a blush that like blends out and can be built up. I get to decide how intense I want the blush, not the blush. It's called Rose Bronze, and I think that that is a accurate description of this shade, right? It is a rosy color with some bronze to it. It's very neutral. It goes with anything. It blends out beautifully. This lasts all day. It doesn't seem to enhance any texture despite the kind of sheeny, pearly finish and the gold shift. It is quite glowy, but not so glowy that it's like offensive and doing bad things to your it's not accentuating bad things. I'm very impressed with these Chanel products. It's been a long time since I've revisited the brand outside of the #1 De Chanel foundation, which I absolutely love. I love that foundation. In fact, I went through a whole bottle of that, and it's very rare for me to use up a foundation. I couldn't stop using that one, and I did repurchase it along with this. I haven't done like a head-to-head to see which one is better, but I might do that. I mean, you know, maybe not on camera, but I might pit them against each other and see which one wins. This is a fun journey for me, kind of revisiting some Chanel products that I had used before that has since been reformulated. Just wanted to give you my thoughts on them. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today. I hope that this video was useful in some way and you got something out of it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I am a newer channel and I'm just getting started and would love to have you stick around and join me on this journey. I also wanted to mention, I don't remember ever liking any of their eye products. And I don't mean mascara. I mean like eyeliner, eyeshadow. If you have any recommendations for any Chanel eyeshadow products, now I used to love the Illusion d'Ombre, the very shiny, glittery pot shadows. Those were stunning. Do you guys remember New Moon? Pretty sure that's what it was called, New Moon. That absolutely gorgeous eyeshadow that was like spangly, glittery, shimmery, shiny, flick lights on your eyes. Loved those. They're gone now. And since those have been gone, I have not found a single Chanel eyeshadow product that I liked. So if you have a recommendation for one, drop it in the comments because I'm very curious to find a nice eyeshadow from Chanel or even an eyeliner. I remember not being impressed with their eyeliners either. So if you could think of something that I need to try from the brand, please let me know. Drop me a comment. I will give it a try. I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I hope you are all having a wonderful holiday season, and I will catch you in my next video.
Okay.